Thank you for stopping by. This is Jeffrey Weiss, your political activist, keeping you informed of local and world events. Today we discuss 2016, another stolen election. In 2016, a deal was struck. Russia releases the emails hacked from Hillary Clinton's accounts. Trump ends the sanctions against Russia. Of course, Russia would have released the emails anyway due to the fact that Putin hated Hillary Clinton, who had to wield a bigger stick than all the men to prove she had balls to play on a man's court. Hillary would have pressed Russia at every possible chance while she was president. But that wasn't the first time the Republicans stole an election. 6 months before the 1980 election, the Republicans were losing in the polls, which would have given Jimmy Carter a second term. Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush made overtures to the Ayatollahs holding the American hostages in Iran. A deal was struck. Iran would hold the hostages until after the election, in return for America supplying rockets, missiles, guns, and ammunition to Iran so that they could carry on the war against Iraq. That was what the Iran-Contra affair was all about. 500,000 men, women, and children on both sides were killed in the conflict, fueled by the weapons supplied by Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush. Jimmy Carter's failed effort to free the hostages cost him the election. The Republicans violated an arms embargo and stole an American election. Continuing, the Republicans also stole the 2000 election when Florida Governor Jeb Bush, along with Florida Secretary of State Katherine Harris and Supreme Court Justice Anthony Scalia, illegally and criminally handed the election to George W. Bush. Fast forward to 2004, an excerpt from my book, The Wizards of Oz. Oh, you mean the fraudulent 2004 presidential election? So it was rigged, the old man replied. I heard that there was a manipulation of the vote count. Manipulation, the old man repeated. Yes, that's like saying a priest only adjusted his crotch when he actually molested an entire parish. So it's true? At 11:43, the night of the election, Kerry was winning by 3 to 6 percentage points in every battleground state. At 11:47 p.m., Bush was announced the winner in every one of those states. The chances of the exit polls being that far off was 660 million to 1. Overall, there was an unexplained, rapid 6.7% shift in the vote count. But it happened. It happened right in front of your eyes and the newscasters' eyes and the voters' eyes. The makers of the machines, software and servers, which is smart tech, are all owned and operated by Republican partisans, mostly by Bain Capital. You've heard of them? That's Mitt Romney's company. Well, I'll be goddamned. No, it was the country that was goddamned, the old man assured. The secretaries of state are mostly Republican, and they were given the key contracts. They gave the key contracts for the voting machines to Michael Connolly. Never heard of him. What role did... Don't get out of me, son. Just keep that name in mind. He's the key to all this, or at least was the key. Was? The guy was a genius, the old man assured. Anyway, Connolly's company, VoteTrack, had the contract to count the votes if the voting machines broke down. He programmed the voting machines to crash just before midnight. The people in the polling stations thought it was a simple delay, when in fact it was a pre-programmed anal penetration of the voting process. And the vote tally was done on the same servers that also carried the emails for Karl Rove. How about that? The Republican National Party. That was a huge mistake, and still, the great majority of people believe the elections are honest and their vote matters. It's pathetic. And nobody saw through this thin veil? U.S. courts have consistently ruled that the software in electronic voting machines is proprietary to the manufacturer, even though individual election boards may own the actual machines. There couldn't be a vote count on election night in any of the battleground states. As the deceased Michael Connolly once famously said, electronically flipping an election is relatively cheap and easy to do, especially if you or your compatriots programmed the machines. Did you say deceased? Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, Smart Track was a man in the middle. They were not designed as a mirror. They were designed specifically to be a man in the middle. A man in the middle is not just an accidental happenstance of computing. It's a deliberate computer hacking setup, one where the hacker sits literally in the middle of the communication stream, intercepting, and when desired, as in this case, altering the data. It's how hackers swipe your credit card number or other banking information. The Smart Tech system was set up precisely as a kingpin computer used in criminal acts against banking or credit card processes and had the needed level of access to both county tabulators and Secretary of State computers to allow whoever was running Smart Tech computers to decide the input and the county tabulators under its control. Smart Tech had the correct placement, connectivity, and computer experts necessary to change the election in any manner desired by the controllers of the Smart Tech computers. Mike Connolly was a fiercely religious conservative who got involved in politics to push a right-wing social agenda. He was Karl Rove's IT go-to guy and was the IT brains behind the series of stolen elections between 2000 and 2004. Connolly was outed as the one who stole the 2004 election. He gave a deposition on the matter but stonewalled. After the deposition, and fearing perjury and obstruction of justice charges for withholding information, Connolly expressed an interest in testifying further as to the extent of the scandal. He had made it known to lawyers. He had made it known that he wanted to talk. He was scared, and I'd say that he had pretty good reason to be scared. Connolly asked for protection from the Attorney General. Connolly told close friends that he was expecting to get thrown under the bus by Rove's team because Connolly had evidence linking GOP operatives to the scandal and the stolen election. Before he could testify, Connolly died mysteriously in a plane crash. Almost all politicians trade their integrity, their souls, for campaign contributions. Others sell the country to further their own ambitions. But the Republicans have taken it all to an all other level. They are the most corrupt criminal organization that ever infested the earth. They make the mafia look like petty thieves. After all, the mafia never wanted to trade away a nation. Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are not without blame, but their ambitions did not include raping the middle and lower classes, and of what little they had left. If my articles interest you, please use the link to check out my website and books. Thank you very much.